seriousness, Marine King is 0-2 against his opponent. He's up against Nestea. Incredible Miracle player is one game away from taking the third place here at IronSquid. And we are heading into the game Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah.
Proxy Barracks?
I think maybe it's time. I'm the proxy wolf. Sometimes I can make these calls, but in this case, I say, you know, it's a good choice, but I don't think he can make that choice. It's too risky. There's too much money on the line. It's the final game. If you mess it up and you lose the game because of it, that's it. You're out of the tournament. You get fourth place. You come here. You're the only Terran, and you finish dead last.
If you want to win that, you have to show some balls, and this is exactly what Marine King has to do now, in my opinion. Going into the game, we have our Zerg player at the bottom left of Cloud Kingdom. He's starting in blue. It is Nestea. And of course, he's also 2-0 in this best-of-5 series. And starting to the top right, we have his opponent. It is
Marine King Prime.
Yeah. We're getting the Street Fighter voice vibe.
Yeah, just I like. You actually gestured to me, but I felt like I was going to say it even before you did that. It was a little bit odd. We were on the same page there.
It's fate.
Yeah, that's what Trevelyan said too.
Well, at this point, what is Marine King going to do? He really I mean, can we both agree that he needs to do something out from his normal approach?
Yeah. Nestea agrees, though, that he wants to do something out of his normal approach. This is so cool because if he goes 10 pool, it's so good against 2 barracks play, but it's also good to punish what Marine King normally does. So since Nestea's up 2 games, if Marine King does the wall at the top of the ramp and is just totally safe, then he's like, I take a deficit, but, you know, Life took a deficit and still won. Plus, I am in a situation now where I am going to be ahead already in the series, and here comes the first forward barracks.
Yeah, he's not going to really go for an 11-11, but he definitely goes for the first forward barracks, and I guess we're going to see a second too. Nestea, with this approach, has a very, very good weapon as at hand. You already talked about the possibility of there being a proxy barracks, like a double 11. And if that's the case, with the 10 pool, you are in a really good position. So now we have still the forward barracks by Marine King. It's a little bit more passive than the all-inish approach that you have with an 11-11. But you can still execute a lot of pressure. So Nestea is going to find out what's going on here. And then we'll see how he's going to adapt with his build. Because so far, he just started to produce Zerglings. He will start with the Queen very soon. We will see probably 8 Lings in total. And Marine King, how is he going to deal with it?
Well, you know, he's got the production facilities, and Nestea sees this now. He sees the 2 barracks. And what Nestea could do is try to hide his Lings and then catch the Marines if they try to move out and kill them, and then try to do some damage. Otherwise, he can run around the other side and just try to avoid them entirely and get into the main base. Problem is, that's counting on Marine King having a late wall, and that's something that might not happen. Marine King, will he see the Lings? No, he just barely misses them. He's going to know by the time he gets in the base, but it's going to be a little bit late at that point, and he's moving out with his Marines.
Yeah, the Marines are already moving out, and he sees that there is no expansion. And now Marine King has, of course, to... Well, he has to know what's going on here. I want to see the next supply depot. I want to see the full wall, because this is the only thing that can happen.
Yeah,
Marine
and he
King
goes for it.
Yeah, there it is. Marine King sees what's going on. What? You don't have any expansion? Well, you must have done something with your minerals, so you have an early pool.
But here's the problem, man. He can't produce Marines right now. He's stuck. Every Marine he produces gets killed unless Nestea messes up his micro a little bit in that case. But he sees the wall. He could have just camped those barracks and forced Marine King to lift, which would have stifled his production quite a bit. But instead, now he's doing something really interesting. He's making a hatchery and more Lings. So he really wants to fight these Marines head on and keep the pressure on so that Marine King can't make a command center on the low ground.
So with how that started, let's have a quick look at the situation in the game. Right now, Marine King has a decent position with this economy. He is at 15 harvesters, has the orbital command, can go with this with 1 mule against 11, now 12 harvesters. The command center has now been started, but Nestea is a bit ahead with this expansion. So currently, Marine King with the economy lead will get the command center and is moving out trying to apply pressure. We have a few Zerglings on the map, but it's only 5 now. So, yeah, they're trying to get in there, but if Marine King with those 4 guys is able to get in, he could actually take down
he could do a lot
here.
He could definitely do a lot. And this is what he goes for here. The Queen, of course, will help him out. He could try to avoid it. This is actually really interesting because depending on how this fight goes, several different things could happen. Now, Marine King's hesitation actually allows him to trap these Marines.
Yeah, but he should be able to get rid of all those Zerglings, and he kills most of them. Nestea even backs off, but he's still producing drones. This is the cool part about it. He sees this and he realizes with the number of Marines that Marine King is using and also with the ones that are attacking the Overlord at the top right, there's no way that Marine King is going for an all-in strategy. So he's still continuing to produce his drones, and it doesn't like press the panic button and pump Zerglings because he's like, oh my god, you're going to attack me with whatever.
Yeah. And, you know, Nestea could do something really, really bold here. He could do another Baneling attack. Right now, he's mining gas from only 2 harvesters rather than 3, but that's still a lot. And we could wait until he goes up to somewhere between 32 and 35 drones, see a roach attack even with speedlings, or he could go for banelings. He's got a lot of different opportunities here. He's ahead in this series. He knows Marine King likes to go for a fast third command center, which is what we see right now. So I wouldn't put it past Nestea to put on the aggression here after a few more drones.
The speed is already halfway done, and he needs... Oh, now we have a... he's actually trying to just make sure that there's no third base. We have the bunker already in this position. He's getting the first one. We have him with the second command center on the main base. So Marine King is going for a very economy-oriented build, but still adding a few touches to his build and to how he executes it that pressures Nestea. And this just worked so well for him. Nestea moving in, dropping the hatch, Marine King attacking it, Nestea cancelling it just in time, which was actually like...
It was so close,
brilliant.
And the drone
Good
barely
reflexes.
escapes.
And he saw the bunker, so he's like, well, the bunker is in the perfect spot between those mineral patches. How do I engage this?
I think he's going to just say, all right, well, that's a lot of Marines away from Marine King's base. I'm going to add an extra gas and get a Baneling nest. I'm going to put a little bit of aggression on. This is not necessarily going to be an all-in from Nestea, but he wants to put some pressure on Marine King and then keep him off of his third base location so he can take it. He could go for the all-in as well, but the problem is on this map with the opening that Marine King chose, he's very safe against this considering that he has the triple barracks wall, and he's on the right side of the map, so his tech lab's not exposed.
The wall is definitely going to help him a lot, and now with the high ground vision, thanks to the barracks, he even takes down the Overlord, so suddenly Nestea's supply block, which is definitely going to change the timings for him. But he's building a lot of Zerglings
Yeah, he's
here.
actually going to go for it regardless.
Now this is going to be tricky. Stim is being researched. If he's able to bust through, he might be able to cancel Stim.
Yeah, he has to pick the right barracks though. And since his Overlord died, I'm pretty sure he knows before the Overlord died where the tech lab is. I'm actually going to verify that on my computer. He actually didn't see it, so he doesn't know which barracks has the tech lab. And at that point, obviously without knowing, he can't pick the right one.
Marine King, he is going straight for the bunker. We have +1/+1. He has a hunch here, and he's going for it. He realizes, well, you didn't attack my bunker, so you don't trying to take a third base. You don't have one to the left side, so what are you going to do? He knows that there's the risk of a huge Baneling bust. NST is really all out with this. This is so many resources that he currently commits to this attack. If Marine King holds... So suddenly he's so far ahead.
To be honest, I'm a little bit surprised Marine King doesn't even start a second bunker. He still has that bunker at Nestea's third, so he knows there's no third.
Here we go.
What is Nestea going to pick? He chooses to just go through the bottom ones. There is a hole in the wall, in fact. Marine King, though, has so much DPS here, and Stim is getting ever so close to being finished. Great splitting here. This is what we know from Marine King.
Wow, all those Banelings are gone, but here comes the second wave.
There's
and of
nothing in the
course, we have
bunker.
so many Zerglings now being streamed to the top right. He left all those Marines. He went out of the bunker because he wanted those Banelings to detonate. Now we have one unit in there. But the production is the big problem for Marine King. He's trying to get Hellions into the picture to deal with the Zerglings, but there are so many of them. And we only have 26 Harvesters left for Marine King. Once again, he is in such a bad spot. 9 additional Banelings. If Marine King loses those 3 supply depots at the top of the round, the game's over.
Exactly, and Marine King losing this depot at the low ground, he also lost so much production. Losing the barracks, and it's not just a wall, it's so much production lost for Marine King. He's desperately trying to get Hellions out to hold. It's going to take the micro of a god to hold this attack. Really nice micros so far, and Nestea tries to go for the drones here, or I should say SVs, and he gets in despite the Hellions.
Oh! And he gets them. No, only a few, but this is definitely enough.
Looks
He's
game
down
ending,
to 20,
man.
20 to 39.
I think Marine King is out here. Nestea is going to 3-0 him. There's nothing he can do. He can't even get units in the bunker.
Lings are dancing in his expansion. We have Banelings. We have like everything here. Everything is going down for Marine King. He's at 16 supply, and this game is essentially over. Nestea has a Spire on its way. There are Lings for him everywhere. He has 30 of them on the map, and the only attacking units the Marine King has are 3 Hellions and 6 Marines. That's it.
Yep, this game is over. Marine King desperately trying to repair his bunker here to hold. He will stabilize, but the next wave comes in, and Nestea is going for Spire Tech. The thing is, I don't think he can actually kill Marine King with this next wave of units, but with the Mutalisks, he absolutely can. There's no doubt about it.
Marine King is already dead.
He's already
Nobody
dead.
told him yet, but he's dead. He just doesn't know it.
He's just trying to stick with this game. You know, he waits till the last second. He's got 3 CCs. He's making a tight wall here. But Marine King is a fighter to the end, and going away from this tournament only taking 1 single game is got to be a frustrating feeling right now.
And here comes Nestea with another wave of units going in. The Banelings trying to connect. Bye-bye bunker. And here are the last hope of Marine King. They are being destroyed by the Zerglings, eaten away. The SCVs are dead. He only has one left, and this is brutal to watch.
Yeah, this is the end. He's trying to micro his Hellion in the medevac. Marine King's unit count right now, I'll give it to you. 1 SCV, 1 Hellion, 1 medevac, and 4 Marines. He's trying to produce a few more Hellions. Loses the reactor.
GG!
And the crowd goes wild. Nestea, even though he was not able to make it to the finals, does take a 3-0 and gets 3rd place.
The big story here was really Nestea getting into Marine King's head. It's like he always knew what was happening. He always knew his chance where he could go in. And even in the last game, when Marine King played a lot safer, where he had this triple barracks wall and added the additional bunker, he was able to break through. Marine King didn't see it in time, didn't just get a second wall. So right now, it's it for Marine King. He's down.
That's it,
4th place.
He is out. Nestea is done as well, but he'll take 2,000 more euros home. Look at that crowd. There's so many people here. That's just one glimpse. That's one speck of the crowd. Nestea's comeback, that sign is so true. It's telling the truth.
Yeah, it's definitely telling the truth here. Nestea with an amazing tournament. He wasn't able. He was so close to defeating DRG, getting to the final, but then falls down, goes into the bronze match, and he takes it with a 3-0. No chance for Marine King.
Very aggressive play from Nestea. Taking any opening that Marine King gave him, he jumped right into it and tore him apart. So that does it, man. Marine King out, losing all but 1 game in both series he played.
I feel sorry for him.
You know,
I feel really
I
sorry
feel
for
like
him.
maybe his emotions got in the way a little bit. You know, he did not seem on top of his game. He made a few mistakes. He was very predictable in his series. But it's tough right now for him. In the state of StarCraft 2 right now, Zergs are dominating, and maybe he feels a little bit frustrated by that. Whether or not it's a balance issue, there's some frustrations attached to this.
That was definitely not a balance issue.
That was
Marine King being
that was
read
not
by a book.
A balance issue.
That was an open book to Nestea.
Exactly.
Who always knew what was going on. So even the famous that was just Marine King being way too predictable.
He was too predictable, and Nestea didn't even use the strategies that people are talking about being really strong right now. He used old school strategies, just finding the weaknesses of Marine King and exploiting them. The Baneling attack, even though Marine King suspected it, it was just too much for him to handle because he tries to cut too many corners. He's trying to get his barracks up and his factory and his 3rd CC, only makes 1 bunker. It's not enough, even with that crazy wall.
Yep. So Marine King goes down without taking a single map in the bronze match. We have a 3rd place. We still have the final to be played. It's going to be, of course, live versus DRG. Before we jump into the final, we have a little bit more going on the streams, though. And one of the things is we are throwing it back to Zoe. And let's see what those guys have to say about the game and about the rest of the IronSquid tournament.
Very, very convincing game from Nestea. Why are you smiling already?
Oh no, I was just
really happy.
Well, I was having a conversation with Todd about microphone placement and sort of holding it because we've been
Yes,
we've been
Sean.
doing the
Yes.
let me tell you about it. Listen, you were talking about
you kind of ruined my intro there.
Yeah, I'm totally ruining it. But here's the thing: we're talking about various levels to hold the mic, and all of a sudden we were live, and we both gave each other a look like, because we may have had everything that we said go out live. And then you asked me what was up, and I've now conveyed everything. So Zoe, back to you for the next introduction.
Thank you very much, Sean. So that game was, I can't actually go back to this, but I guess I have to. So Nestea came 3rd again. I heard some people talk about before the tournament started about the placement, who's going to be where, and a lot of people actually thought that Nestea is coming 4th. However, he didn't. Did you expect that?
I always expected Marine King to come 4th, unfortunately for him. That sounds like really cryptic and everyone's going to hate me and like, you just met Marine King Primer. But ZVT for him is really hard right now. Really, really difficult. It's arguably his worst matchup. And
it is also Nestea's worst matchup to go up against Terrans.
All right. But
so it technically was fair.
All right, but still, Marine King's been struggling here for quite a while, so this tournament was always going to be difficult for him. And Nestea just played right in every single one of those games. Just completely busting every little chance that Marine King would actually have to make any headway in those games, especially on Antigua Shipyard and Cloud Kingdom. So
yeah, he said he really restricted him to 2 bases, not giving him a chance to do anything, and then just coming up with the whole force of Banelings and Zerglings. What's your general take on that matchup? What do you think is there to do to prevent something like that from happening?
Well, I mean, talking a little bit about Marine King Prime as a player, that he has such a huge range of styles, and he's capable of actually taking out the best of the best. Even though the number-wise TVZ might be his, on the weaker side as of late, you watch his games against Life, and he was really close to taking that to Game 5. He clearly had that win in his hands on Ohana. And given that, I do think that there's just a small way for him to go to be able to start consistently making it to finals and consistently taking out those Zerg players. But I think Nestea in that last series demonstrated, and also in a series with Dongre Gu, demonstrated that there's these huge consideration gaps in the metagame where people are just not worrying about attacks, and then he's doing these Roach with no speed attacks in Zerg vs Zerg, and these Ling Baneling maneuvers. We haven't seen those in many months, and the fact that he's able to use those to take out someone of MKP's caliber really shows that there's still a ton of learning to go in Wings of Liberty. Fortunately, it's only out for about 5 more weeks, and then Heart of the Swarm comes out, but still, it's really cool to see how all the corner cutting that people have sort of developed over time has opened up the ability for all these early attacks to be hugely successful.
So, Heart of the Swarm coming out soon, and you, dear Todd, have just been playing it, and I gotta say, I as rude as that's gonna sound, but I didn't expect you to win because you were so worried. No, you kept sitting here. You kept sitting here and telling me that you haven't played much and you're not sure and blah. Blah. Yeah. And I was just 2-0ing him.
I didn't expect
what about
you to win either
time. See, why are you laughing about my statement?
The games went pretty well, but actually, I wanted to say something about the ZVT we just saw.
No, you're not allowed. No. Okay, go on. No, come on, Todd. Tell us everything about it.
I think Sean covered Marine King pretty well, but I want to talk a little bit about Nestea. I've been very impressed by him. He's definitely played the opponents more than the matchups in this tournament. He played 2-3 versus Dongre Gu, which already is very impressive, barely losing in last epic game. And then now he took out Marine King with 3-0. A lot of people were counting him out. Before that, he beat Parting in quarterfinals. So mad props to Nestea. And I can understand why he's the fan favorite here, just because he's very impressive and it's always nice to see him win. And coming back to Heart of the Swarm.
I mean, we already really made an in-depth analysis about your game.
What did you say?
I mean, Todd.
That's just too much of in-depth.
No, you don't want to know.
Todd, how much do you think Heart of the Swarm will have an impact on how much of a boss you are, having demonstrated already the status of your bossness with that 2-0 in the show match?
Pretty big impact, maybe.
That sounded so cool with you wearing that suit and all. Oh God! What's happening? I don't know. But actually, we were talking about the synergy of the force fields and the time warp. You really distracted me. But it's okay. Keep on going. Pretend nothing happened. So, how did it felt for you? Because Caloris was saying that it almost feels a little too strong. I mean, you showed us how easily it was to take down your opponent with that.
I'm not gonna lie. I had never used Time Warp a lot before, but yesterday I was playing some ladder and I played one game versus Munchi and the player from Ostrich, and he attacked and he used the Time Warp in the middle of my army, and I was like, this was so well thought. He planned the force fields and he planned the Time Warp. I'm just gonna do it from now, and that's what I did today, and it went well. So I'm not sure exactly. I guess as a Terran, you can't move out before Steam now, and once you have Steam, it's different because you can move out of the Time Warp area, and then you have Medivacs and everything. But before that, it does look pretty difficult. The Mothership Core wasn't really affecting early on rushes or fights outside of your base, because you could only use Purify in your base before. But now, since you have Time Warp, you have a lot of options. You can catch the Terran army out of position. It can also help defend if you don't have enough energy yet for Purify. So I think it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's the perfect tool for retreating armies. I mean, even against Zerg players, you could just throw down a Time Warp right in front of a couple of Roaches, and the other has to go around it and get force fielded, or go through it and still get force fielded. No matter what, he's getting force fielded, Todd.
I really enjoyed it because I normally mess up my force fields, and now I just have more time to place them. So that's actually really convenient for me. Now I don't have to be fast anymore. I just have to hit that time warp.
But you have to place the time warp for the beginning.
Oh yeah, but I can get the practice in.
I would love an upgrade, a spell that just makes the game on normal speed for like 10 seconds. Like there's about to be a bunch of banelings moving in, and then you're like, and normal speed, and then you like micro, and it's like really easy, and the guy with the banelings is like, I hate that spell. Somebody needs to take that out of the game, and then it just goes back to normal speed again. All your stuff dies anyways because Zergs make like 40 banelings at a time.
That'd be trippy.
Dude,
Perfect.
I need to work in balance design.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
What would be your first
Imbalance
change?
design.
This, what you just said?
Yeah, my first change would be each command center / hatchery / nexus has energy, okay? And it costs 50 energy to change the game speed. And it's actually permanent change. It's like a toggle. Like you cast a spell and the whole game pauses. So that way you have, like, if you want to crack your knuckles, you can do it then. And it's in this period of time that a slider appears on the screen, and you get to move what you want the new game speed to be. But you can only go up 1 tick or down tick. Like if you're at fastest ×2, you can't go to slowest. You can just tick it down a
You
bit.
think this is going a bit too far? You said just 10 seconds at first. Now you
No,
said the
but
whole
the thing is
game.
that I'm iterating. I have a process where I'm
Okay.
figuring out how I want the game to be as I go. In other words, I'm making it up as I'm talking. So with this mechanic, like you might be Protoss, you might only be able to take your natural because you're against Terran, but you build like 4 nexuses in your base, you can slow it down and cover yourself from all those drops.
You know what I always wanted to have? Music in the background when you're talking. And you know what we have on the main stage right now?
What is that?
Music. We have Inicronia to play a medley, and it's actually going on right now. And we don't want you guys to miss it. As much as I love your changes in the game, I really want to. I just tried hard because the production team told me that I should. I think I did well. You just ruined it for me. You ruined it for me. That was flawless. So we're gonna show you the music on stage now. Enjoy.